All right. Good afternoon. It is about 2:30 on Friday afternoon. Still rainy and overcast on this Friday. I'm shooting this video live on Friday afternoon, but will understanding that people are working and people are at different places and may not be able to watch it live, and that's fine. But I'm doing this because it's usually the easiest way for people to access it without me having to download it and that kind of stuff. They can access it later on YouTube or Facebook. And I wanted to just give as many people as I can an update and also give you an opportunity. Again, I know it's not perfect timing because it's 2:30 in the afternoon, but opportunity for questions or those kinds of things. But I wanted to get this recorded and out soon enough that enough people could watch it because some people, they'll go a day or two without checking their email or those kinds of things or social media. And so wanted to give people as much time as they possibly could to see what's going on. So let me give you an update as far as Pioneer is concerned. It's good to see some of you on here. Obviously, as many of us know, ever since I think it was March 22nd, I think March 15th was our final in-person service. So ever since March 22nd, Pioneer has been closed to in-person gatherings. Obviously, the community center was shut down for those times, and I communicated with the church and with folks that the initial reason that we accepted those mandates to not meet in person were in light of two major considerations. Number one, I think there was a scriptural command in Romans 13 to obey the people that the Lord had put in authority over us. And then, secondly, because of the public safety concerns of this pandemic that was going on, and so many unknowns as far as that was concerned. And after some of us meeting together and having some discussions, we certainly thought that that was the right thing to do. Um, However, we were encouraged to do these things to help flatten the curve, which I praise the Lord that has happened. And I'll talk more about this in just a second. But it does seem that as we move along, the goalpost maybe move a little bit. And again, I know that's because some people say, well, that's just because more information's come out, or we just didn't know what was going on. But we sit here now, over 12 weeks or around 12 weeks later, and I am of both the opinion and the conviction that it's time for Pioneer to return to in-person gatherings. And I think many of us have been starting to feel that for some time, as we've discussed ad nauseum. The issue has been with us finding a place to meet. But we are planning this Sunday, June 14th, to have our first in-person service in almost 12 weeks. And it's going to be a little bit different. And I'm going to share some of those details with you here in just a moment. I want everybody to understand I'm not doing this out of spite or obstinance towards any person, or certainly not towards the governor. We're doing this, I believe, personally, out of obedience to God. And I have sought the counsel of godly people like the Christian Law Association, um, uh, some of our medical professionals, other pastors, and I believe now is the time, and this is what the Lord wants us to do. And so we're going to try to do the best we can, as is humanly possible, with the way that we're doing things. And so we'll obviously continue to practice to return to in-person services. With that, or you're not prepared to do that yet, completely fine. We look forward to when you are. And until then, I encourage you to continue to enjoy our services online, which we'll try to continue to provide as best we can. However, over the past couple weeks, in my opinion, there's been a few, major happenings that have kind of stood out to me. Um, One of those things, obviously, this week, the governor halted her forward movement in the reopening, and as some of the numbers as far as people testing positive for COVID-19 going up. She's wanted to halt some of those things, and I understand that. Um, uh, and But I was really hoping to kind of track along our church's opening, track her reopening plan, and that would have been helpful. But she has chosen to halt it for right now. But one of, for me, conflicting things as everything has been going on in our nation and in our state, and even within the city, large gatherings of people, whether that for rallies or marches or whatever the case may be. Uh, we, um, and I've always said from the very beginning that I would follow their recommendations as long as everybody was encouraged to follow those recommendations, as long as everybody was on that level playing field. And I believe some of that has been, again, one of the things that's been moved a little bit. And so we're telling people, well, they can do this in a large group, but they can't do that in a large group. As a matter of fact, you can even see it for yourself. There are times where they'll post, we don't want any large groups unless it's for protesting or unless it's for rallying or those kinds of things. And I've just gotten to the point where I believe that church is biblically so important, and the opportunity for us to gather is so essential, that if other people are now allowed to do it without any condemnation or any threat, that I think the church should be able to allowed to be able to move forward in that as well. And I do think we have a biblical mandate. I've said this before, a biblical command to not forsake the assembling of ourselves together. And I don't think we've done that up to this point, and we don't have any intentions to. Um, but uh, but I think that some of the restraints that have been put on, that we've followed in, in the past, maybe aren't as applicable now as they have been, as this thing has continued to go on. With that being said, I want to get to our particular plan as far as what's going on for this Sunday, and I want you to know this is for this Sunday only. The 21st, we might have a completely different plan. I don't know, but this is for this Sunday only. We are anticipating having an in-person service. I sent you an email. Hopefully you've received that email. If you've not received that email, let me know. We'll try to get it to you, with a registration form on there for an in-person service June 14th, this Sunday at 2 p.m. The address is in that email as well. We are meeting, I refer to it as worship or church on the farm, and it's under the tent. And in that email, I told you very clearly that's exactly what it is. I don't want anybody to get any fantastical ideas. It's on the farm. It's on a little grassy spot there, and so come prepared for that. As I mentioned just a moment ago, our online services will still be available. What we've discussed doing is actually possibly recording our Sunday evening service and maybe putting that out first to hold people over in the morning, and then having that afternoon service. And if that people want to come to that in person, they're able to. We're going to try to either live stream it or record that one and then put it out maybe in the evening as well, so they can still participate in that. Again, so much of this is unknown, but we're going to give it a shot this Sunday. Obviously, there'll be no nursery. Be no Pioneer Kids, no Elevate, no discipleship class, and our small group and our quote unquote Sunday evening service will remain totally online. And so I want to encourage you to, if you are interested in coming, and many of you have already done this, about 30 people or so right now, if you're interested, to register online via that email, that link that I sent you, or call me or text me. We're trying to reserve spaces, and for us to be able to do this as strategically and safely as possible. We want to know. We need to know who's coming, how many people are coming. We want to be able to try to properly social distance and all those kinds of things. Our plan is to have specific spots for people and their family units to be able to sit together. It will be, and this is important, this is a bring your own chair. We're not going to be setting out the church chairs and all of those kinds of things. So bring a camp chair or a deck chair or something that's easy for you to handle. Or if you want to bring a blanket for your family to sit on or whatever, that's fine. But this is bring your own chair. And so don't forget that. A few other things we do want to say. This is going to be an outdoor service, and so while we would still encourage vulnerable populations to stay home for a multitude of reasons. If you would like to come and you can stay socially distanced and you want to take all the precautions, you're welcome to come. And many of them have already registered to come, and that is fine. But we just want to I want to say that publicly. Um, Again, that if you're part of the vulnerable population, we will. I'm fine with letting. I just encourage you to think, pray, and be careful about that. We will. I just want everybody to know we will screen attenders. I've again had this conversation with the medical professionals within our own church, and so we will take temperatures. I actually have infrared forehead thermometers. I've had them for a couple weeks now, purchased a couple of them. I don't even have to touch you. I can just stick it up to your forehead, push a button, and we have a temperature in just a few seconds. And so we'll be taking temperatures to see if anybody's had a fever. We'll ask, have you had a fever, a cough, shortness of breath, sore throat, altered taste or smell, or have you been around anybody that you know has been exposed? And so we'll take precautions with that. And so we'll be prepared for that. There'll be no, as we talked about before, no hugging, no handshaking, no touching really of any kind outside of your family. And we will have masks available if you don't have one or if you would like to use one. We will not require them since we're in an open space and outdoors, but they will be available. And if you're comfortable wearing one, I would encourage you to do so. Our giving will remain by mail or online and those kinds of ways, rather than passing a plate. We're not going to do those things. We're going to limit the amount of touch. We will have a porta potty restroom available on site, and so obviously it's not ideal, but there'll be one there, and we'll also have some hand washing and hand sanitation stations there for you to make use of while you're there. A couple of last two things mainly that I want to share with you are some big things. One has been the question of singing. Obviously, we know that singing as we project our voice, um, that there's a possibility, a bigger possibility there of the spread of droplets and those kinds of things. One of the things is this: we're going to highly encourage you during our singing time to wear a mask just during the singing time. Highly encourage you to. Again, we're not going to mandate that you do it, but we'll encourage you to. And if you choose not to, that's fine. We ask that you. One of the advantages of us being outside is we have the ability to, especially on what appears to be is going to be a pretty decent day on Sunday, we have the ability to distance ourselves a little bit more beyond the 6 foot distance, and we can sing that way as well. The other thing is I want to encourage you about this. So one of the things is, all right, what are we going to do about music and songs? We don't have the words or those kinds of things. I want to encourage you to do a few things. First of all, I want to encourage you to download the Faith Life app. The Faith Life app, it's PBCW, so Pioneer Baptist Church Wilsonville. But if you have a phone, you can download the Faith Life app. And what it allows you to do is all of the slides that you see in Proclaim that we project on the screen, you can have them right there on your phone. And so we'll make sure you get the words to music that way. You can follow along with Bible verses or notes right on there as well. So take a moment between now and then to download that app and make yourself familiar with it so that you can be prepared for that. And so I want to encourage you to do that. We'll also try between now and tomorrow, we will try to create a PDF form of it as well. One of the great things that Anita does and Terry does oftentimes is how they play the music. They'll go ahead and give us a PDF of the music, or at least of the words. And so we can make a compilation of that and get it to you if you want to print it off at home yourself, so that you can have a copy of it and be able to sing along if projection isn't a possibility. Because I do want you to understand this is going to be much different than a normal Sunday service. I encourage you. It's not one of those. I usually encourage you come 15 minutes early, leave 15 minutes late. Let's hang out. Let's fellowship. While we look forward to being in person and worshiping the Lord in person, this isn't the time for us to really hang out yet and spend a whole lot of time together. I encourage you, maybe come a few moments early so you can find your spot and get ready to go worship the Lord together, and then to leave it. It won't be like old times. I do want you to know as well. This will. I really don't like the term that people are using, the new normal. I don't anticipate this, nor do I want this to be the new normal. To me, this is just what we got to do right now. And we will get back, I believe, to some semblance of normal, Lord willing, sometime soon. But it's not it's not a perfect situation. It doesn't work for everybody, and I understand that. And I wish I could open up the door of my heart and see how much that, I wish it could work for everybody and be perfect for everybody. It just isn't. It just isn't. But we're going to give this a shot this Sunday. And again, it's going to be much different. But I do look forward to the opportunity to worship the Lord together with you and to try to do it in person, but as, again, scripturally, strategically, and safely as possible. Again, if you have thoughts or questions, maybe things we haven't considered or thought of, or those kinds of things, now please don't. I love you. I love all of you, but please just understand this from a pastor's heart. Please don't bombard me with too many suggestions, because right now this is all things are literally changing by the moment. There's about 20 minutes ago, I thought we were gonna have to shut it all down because I couldn't find a porta potty anywhere that would be deliverable, and I was ready to say, you know what, we're just have a hard time asking people to come and hold it for an hour and a half or whatever. But we were able to take care of that, and so things are changing constantly. When the tent was going to arrive has been changing, setup has been changing, times have been changing, and so it's like trying to hit a moving target right now. But if you think, oh, you know what, this would be a question or a good consideration or something, please let me know. We want to know. I want to hear from you. I care. I do. I genuinely care about what you're thinking and your intent, and I would love your help. And with that being said, before I forget, I think the plan right now is for many of us to meet at 10 a.m. tomorrow to start setting up the tent. And if you're interested in that, contact me. We'll get that address to you. Tomorrow is not supposed to be a nice day, but Sunday is. And so we're going to try to do a lot of that setup tomorrow in preparation for Sunday. And part of the reason we moved it back is because we were not sure when the tent was going to arrive, and we weren't sure how long it's going to take us to set it up and to get everything ready to go. And so we didn't want to say, hey, come at 10:30 and then us not be anywhere near ready. And so pushing it back for this week. Lord willing, it won't always be a 2 p.m. start. It might be, but Lord willing, it won't be. But for this Sunday, we've pushed it back to give us that time and to figure out what's going on. And so that's the plan for right now. So I don't know how long I've been going because I don't have a timer here. But let me know really quickly before I get off. Some of you will be catching this later. So Daniel actually just texted me and said it says it was delivered in or at the mailbox. I doubt that the tent was in their mailbox. If it is, they'll probably need to buy a new mailbox. But let me know if you have thoughts, questions, those kinds of things here for a few moments. I'll stay on here live online if you have them. If not, that's fine. But I want to give you those opportunities. Many of you will probably be watching this afterwards, recorded via a link that I send, and so you won't have that opportunity. But you can email me or text me or call me or whatever the case may be as far as that's concerned. And I know there's a little bit of a lag on you hearing, then typing, and me receiving. So I want to give it a little time because I think last time I did this, I got off too early and missed somebody's question. Tried to come back and answer it, but I'll just give you that chance here really quickly. So I know there's a few of you watching on YouTube and some of you on Facebook as well. So I'll give it another 30 seconds or so from when you hear this, maybe. So trying to think here. Like I said, we'll have masks available too. If you don't have one and want to use one, they'll be there. We'll have a porta potty. We'll have a hand washing station with water and soap and paper towels, as well as hand sanitizer. And so, right now the plan is they have a trailer that they're gonna set up there, and we'll use that as a platform right at one edge of the tent, and then the tent will go, and people can spread out. Again, thankfully, it looks like it's gonna be a halfway decent day, so that'll be nice. All right, I think I've let it go long enough. So thank you guys for tuning in, or for those of you that watch us a little bit later. Um, we'll also try to send out maybe an email tomorrow with this information, as well as maybe the PDFs for music or sermon notes or those kinds of things for you to follow along. Again, once again, remember, don't get too worked up or too worried. This is just a one Sunday thing. It may be completely different the next Sunday. But we're going to give it a go this Sunday, and look forward to seeing how the Lord uses it. So hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday, and we'll talk to you later.